Now 9 o'clock. We'll have a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and approval of minutes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Jack, if you'll read the minutes of our last meeting, please.
Good morning. The County Commission of Upshur County, West Virginia held their regular meeting at the Courthouse Annex on Thursday, January 28, 2016 at 9 a.m. Terry Cartwright called the meeting to order. Present were Terry Cartwright, Commissioner, J.C. Rafferty, Commissioner, Troy Brady, Commissioner, Kerry Wallace, County Administrator, Jeannie Zickfus, Commission Assistant, Jacqueline Binklocker, Secretary. The meeting began with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. All motions passed unanimously unless otherwise stated. After discussion on motion by Troy Brady, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved the regular meeting minutes of January 21, 2016 as submitted. After discussion on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission approved the appointment of Richard Edwards, Buchanan Mayor / City Recorder, as board member of the Corridor H Authority effective July 1, 2016 through June 30, 2020. Terry Wallace advised that agenda item number 2, approval of lease agreement with Neuromuscular Massage Therapy Center, was unavailable for action and will be rescheduled for a later date. After discussion on motion by Troy Brady, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved the advertisement of request for proposal for aerial photography and orthophotography services. Sealed proposals must be received no later than 9 a.m. on Thursday, February 25, 2016. After discussion on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission approved and authorized Kerry Wallace to sign and send certified correspondence to Philip Lance, Upshur County resident, informing him of pending action concerning Upshur County Safe Sites and Structures Ordinance Enforcement Board's case number 050913-07. After discussion on motion by Troy Brady, seconded by Terry Cartwright, the Commission approved and authorized Kerry Wallace to sign and send certified correspondence to John and Rita Simons, Upshur County residents, informing them of pending action concerning Upshur County Safe Sites and Structures Ordinance Enforcement Board, case number 051211-01. Terry Wallace provided an update/status report on the upcoming County Commissioners Association of West Virginia Conference. The event, which was previously scheduled for January 24 through 26, 2016, was canceled due to winter storm Jonas and rescheduled for March 6 through 8, 2016. Ms. Wallace advised that Commission representatives will not be able to attend due to scheduling conflict with budget meetings. The Commission discussed the payment of essential personnel in the event of county office closures/shutdowns due to weather or disaster events. Kerry Wallace advised that possible revision of the policy, the Employee Handbook of Personal Guidelines, may be considered during the fiscal year 17 budget hearings. Terry Cartwright reviewed the following for your information items. Number 1, agendas or notice of meetings as listed. 2, meeting minutes, none. 3, Upshur County Sheriff's Financial Statement, December 2015. 4, Upshur County Mileage Reports, December 2015. 5, Lewis Upshur Animal Control Adoption Financial Transactions, December 2015. 6, Lewis Upshur Animal Control Dog Report, November 2015. 7, Lewis Upshur Animal Control Dog Report, December 2015. 8, correspondence from Columbia Gas Transmission LLC concerning their notice of application with the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission requesting authorization for an interstate gas facility project. 9, correspondence from James Holland, 3, PE, City Engineer, and Thomas Landis, Water Treatment Plant Supervisor, concerning the City of Buchanan's water treatment plant improvement project maintenance and scheduling concerns. 10, correspondence from Alicia Randolph King, Upshur Cooperative Parish House / Crosslines Incorporated Director, thanking the Commission for their contribution for the Christmas dinner at the Chapel Hill United Methodist Church. 11, memorandum from West Virginia Department of Health, important 2016 winter storm Jonas information. 12, 2016 IRS standard mileage rates for business, medical, and movement. 13, James W. Curley Library, Public Library calendar of events, February 14, 2016. 14 meetings as listed. 15, Board of Review and Equalization meeting schedules as listed. 16, appointments needed or upcoming as listed. The Commission approved all invoices for payment. The Commission approved all vacation orders. The Commission approved the following settlements as listed. The Commission recessed at 10:25 a.m. The Commission reconvened at 1 p.m. Jamie Powell, Loudon Insurance Agency representative, and Laura Holdren, Highmark, West Virginia Blue Cross Blue Shield representative, appeared before the Commission and provided an overview of the insurance proposal which was submitted during the bidding process for group insurance services at the January 21, 2016 Commission meeting. Ms. Powell provided data and answered administrative inquiries concerning coverage rates, provider networks, handling of claims, HRA, and all aspects of the plan proposal. Ms. Holdren advised that the plan is negotiable according to the needs of the county. After further review of the proposal, if necessary, Mr. Powell and Ms. Holdren will be available to attend a second meeting with the Commission and the meetings of the Upshur County Supervisors and Policy Board on February 18, 2016. The meeting is not guaranteed at this point, depending on how the Commission chooses to move forward. With no further business, on motion by J.C. Rafferty, second by Fred Grady, the Commission adjourned at 3:45 p.m.
I have one thing on the last paragraph you just read. You said Miss Powell on line 4. I think that's Mrs. Holden. Miss Holden. Miss Holden.
Oh, right. Absolutely, thank you for mentioning that.
And also on the front page, going down where it says discussion regarding John R. and Rita Simmons. I was the one that made that second. Mr. Carter would not have made that second since he was president.
Good catch, thank you.
Okay. We have a 9:15 meeting with Laura Ward, Country Roads Transit. Oh. For reading the minutes, I have a motion to approve. After correction, so moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
I'm glad to see someone else has the same habits as a former president.
Okay, 9:15, we have a meeting with Laura Ward, Country Roads Transit, review of calendar year 2015 services and request for fiscal year 2017 funding. At 9:30, we have a meeting with Craig Priester, West Virginia University Extension Office, presenting budget for fiscal year 2017. At 9:45, we have a meeting with Seth Blake, Upshur County Pool 2015 season review and discussion of 2016 fee rate, and schedule. At 10 a.m., we have an appointment with John R. Simons, discussion of safe sites and structure, or safe structures and sites, case number 051211-01. Laura, we gotta wait till 9:15
Okay, that's
to
fine.
have your meeting. You got any bills we will pay, or can we move on?
Go ahead.
Items for discussion.
Items for discussion, action, or approval. Approval and signature of appointment of ballot commissioners for a 2-year term to begin serving February 1st, 2016. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 2, approval and signature of the order to approve the number of election officials and election commissioners for the May 10th, 2016 primary election. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 3, approval and signature of the order to approve the number of sets of emergency absentee voting commissioners for the May 10th, 2016 primary election. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second it.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 4, approval of request for proposal for architectural engineering services for the repair/replacement of a portion of the pressed metal shingle roof and the tuck point repair of 2 brick chimneys, both on the Upshur County Courthouse. Sealed proposals must be received by the Commission no later than 9 a.m. on Thursday, February 25th, 2016. All proposals will be publicly opened, reviewed, and read aloud by the Upshur County Commission at 10:30 a.m. on Thursday, February 25th, 2016. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 5, approval and signature of the designated Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, filing authorization for the 2015 calendar year. Motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 6, approval and signature of request for the Buchanan Upshur Airport Authority to draw $25,000 from the AIP grant account. This is requested to assist the airport in covering expenses incurred in airport operations. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion been approved. Item 7, approval and signature of an official request to Terry Moxley for Expert Benefits Solutions, EBSO, to remove the association fee from the Upshur County Health Insurance Plan effective March 1, 2016. I will make a statement. That's a $2 a month fee per employee that was put on and sent to the County Commissioners Association. Is that correct? And we pay dues to that. I don't know why we would pay a fee.
That was originally negotiated, I believe, at the time the contract was entered into.
That's
I'll make a motion to
Approve that.
approve the removal of that.
I'll second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so moved. It's now 9:15, so we'll, Laura, if you would, take the podium.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm Laura Ward from Country Roads Transit, and I I love to come to people with excellent news. You have invested in Country Roads Transit really in your citizens of Upshur County since the very beginning. An Upshur County Commissioner named Country Roads Transit, came up with the name for it. So it's always a pleasure to come here and talk to you guys. You know that in 2014, we entered into a partnership with the Upshur County Senior Center. I really feel like that is an example of how two agencies can work together to do more than they could have done individually. And it has, we've proven that the idea was solid and it's working. I'm reporting on the fiscal year that ended last July. So that's a whole year of data that we've now collected on that partnership. What's happened is that we have a total ridership increase of 265%. We've increased the number of seniors that ride Country Roads Transit by 1,077%. And a happy circumstance of this is that we've also been able to increase the number of non-senior, non-disabled riders in Country Roads Transit. So that number has gone up 74.7%. So that you know, that partnership allowed us to institute a route ban. I hope you see it running around town 7 times a day, past the post office and the banks and the hospital and most doctors' offices and all the shopping points, the grocery stores, Walmart, Kroger, those areas. That has been where we've seen the most increase in non-senior, non-disabled. Though that partnership with the Senior Center was what allowed us to do that, we've seen this giant increase in the number of non-seniors that ride. That's been a hard thing to sell to anyone, that we were not just for seniors, that we were for every citizen in Upshur County. Another wonderful thing is because of the funding limitations that the Senior Center saw, they were only able to transport folks in about a 3-mile radius of their senior center. We wanted to, with their funding, protect that benefit to seniors. So the seniors in Upshur County ride that route van, can ride it all day, and some in Randolph County actually do that. They get on and ride for a couple hours. It's their recreational activity. But they ride that for free all day. But we wanted to make sure that we were looking at folks in the outlying areas, those seniors as well. So what we did is we gave a $15 a month demand response service, which is the dial ride. I need you to come and pick me up not on your route, or take me to a destination that's not on your route van.
Like a taxi.
Right, sort of, yes. A little bit more call in advance than a taxi, but absolutely. $15 a month worth of that service to those seniors for free as well, at no cost to them. It's a donation basis. We hope they donate. That would allow someone as far out as Adrian to come in twice a month. They could come to town twice a month, ride into town, ride that route van everywhere they needed to go for free, and get a ride home. It's been excellent. We see a lot of ridership from the outlying areas. So your investment in Country Roads Transit, the Senior Center's partnership with Country Roads Transit, that allows us to get those federal matching dollars, is benefiting your citizens. You know, budgets are tight, and they're tight everywhere. I know you see that. We see that at the Senior Center level, and of course, we all have heard the gloomy news from the state. I think that those kind of partnerships, and smaller partnerships we have had in the past with Parks and Recreation and Mountain Cap, and taking those kids to the pool in the summer, those are the kind of things that benefit everybody, and we're all pooling our resources to be able to do that. That's where we're going to have to be, at least for the next few years, to make sure that we are still providing vital services to our citizens with these extremely restricted funds. So I'm just here to report that we're successful. I'd like to also say that I've run the numbers for so far this year. We're up another 40% in ridership this year.
Now, I also think that part of that service is transporting people like a taxi, so to speak, to medical facilities, even over in Lewis County.
Right, we do go to Lewis County, and we provide that service for people who are on Medicaid and people who are not on Medicaid. But a lot of our medical transportation is for Medicaid recipients.
Right.
So those, a lot of people we serve, particularly those folks, are, they have no other way to get to those places. They have no other way to get to groceries. They have no other way to get to the doctor's appointments. So when you look at the benefit, even the cost down the line of what would it cost if that person just didn't go to the doctor and they got sicker and sicker, right? We're making sure that they can keep those appointments and stay as well as humanly possible. And it is a vital service. They absolutely do not have that ability any other way to get to this point.
I have a question, Laura.
Yes.
Have you talked to Wesleyan College? Because in one of our joint meetings with the city, the kids showed an interest in maybe a stop at Wesleyan College.
I wanted to cry when I read that article. We've been here since 2006 in Upshur County, and they said, boy, it'd be nice to have public transportation. I wanted to cry. We've taken lots of pamphlets there. We go to the Wesleyan campus 7 times a day on this route. When we started doing that, we took ride guides there and schedules there, and took them to the admissions office and took them they put them in the student lounge, and it was so maybe we need to do a better job at that, or maybe we just need to keep going on a continuous basis and institute the drip method, where if you tell them 5 times they remember. But yes, we have in the past, and we will continue to do that.
Okay, thank you.
You guys have any other questions I could answer?
I think you're doing a great job.
I know in the past, we had contributed up to $20,000. That's matching funds, so when we contributed $20,000 several fiscal years ago, you were able to get $40,000 from that.
That's correct.
And then we had that horrendous shortfall of $400,000 that one year, a couple of years ago. And we did manage to give you $10,000, which you matched into $20,000.
Right. And we are, because if I don't ask, you can't give it to me.
Correct.
I'm asking for $20,000 again this year. Things like the increase in minimum wage and some other unfunded mandates that the state has passed down to us, of course, increase our costs, and we don't want that to affect services. So we are asking for 20 and would be appreciative of whatever.
Well, we certainly are asking for President. Go ahead.
Carrie, she need to put that in a letter form so we can.
I have it for her today.
Okay, so we can look over that at a later time and see what we can do. All right.
Thank you so much for hearing me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for doing an outstanding job.
That's a 77% increase, that's pretty good. That's healthy.
We've got a few more minutes to continue with the agenda until 9:30 or our next appointment. Number 8, approval of signature of lease agreement with Wendy Higgins and Rhonda Surratt, owner-operators of Neuromuscular Massage Therapy Center, the rental period for 1 year. Date of the agreement and is in the amount of $450 a month. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Okay, number 9, approve invoice. Let's skip on down from your information. Number one, we have correspondence from Joseph N. Geiger, Jr., Director of West Virginia Archives and History, in reference to the Records Management and Preservation Board Grant Award in the amount of $10,000 for the circuit clerk to digitize chancery and law case files. Do that need approved? No. Okay. 2, we have correspondence from the West Virginia Department of Revenue, State Tax Department, Property Tax Division, in reference to the statewide computer network budget amount, estimate of $48,263 for the year 2017. Number 3, we have correspondence from Glenn B. Gaynor III, West Virginia State Auditor, announcing in-service training seminar for for County Commissioners on Monday, August 22nd, 2016 at Days Inn and Suites in Flatbush. Is that mandatory, Carrie, for the commissioner?
According to the code, the meeting with the state auditor is mandatory, yes.
Okay, I thought it was, all right. Item 4, Upshur County building permits for January 2016. Item 5, Upshur County road name index through February 1st, 2016. Number 6, CAT report, January 2016. 7, Upshur County Health Department newsletter, February 2016. 8, Upshur County Family Resource Network newsletter, February 2016. 9, Atlantic Coast Pipeline Project update newsletter for January 2016. 10, agendas and/or notices of meetings. 11, meeting minutes. 12, meetings, I'm sorry. 13, board of review and equalization meeting schedule. 14, appointments needed for upcoming. The county commission will sit as the board of review and equalization beginning at 1 p.m. on the first day of February 2016 and shall continue until the work is complete, but will adjourn no later than the close of business on the 18th day of February 2016. Next regular meeting of the county commission, Upshur County Commission, February 11th, 2016 at 9 a.m. in the Upshur County Courthouse Annex. Well, we've got a few more minutes left before we talk to Mr. Priester.
Grab some coffee.
Now 9:30.
See if she wants it.
We're going to appoint Greg Priester, Virginia University Extension Officer. Greg, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
For those of you who may not be familiar with me, I am Craig Priester, and I represent West Virginia University Extension Service, 4-H and Youth Development Agent here for Upshur County. We're starting into my 10th year now. I started December 15th, 2005. So into my 10th year, I think I'm actually kind of starting to get the hang of this but now. So we'll see. We'll see. With me today is Tasha Harris, who is our not brand spanking new, but our recently hired agricultural agent, Ag and Natural Resources agent. She's just finishing up her first year, starting into her second. You'll recognize Abby Golden, who's our 4-H assistant. She's now, thanks to the generosity of the County Commission, we were able to move her up from part-time position to full-time. We're thankful for that. And she's done a wonderful job as 4-H assistant. And also with us is Debbie Carlisle, who is our, what's your official title? Receptionist, administrative assistant, jack of all trades down at the extension office. And she's entering your 4th year on the job? 3rd or 4th year? 3rd year. I provided everyone with a new annual report that all counties are doing. It's helping, it's definitely helped us frame our message and sharing our points of pride with our stakeholders and the folks who are involved in this process. And this is the same report that I sent up to Morgantown to be included in our state report. The big highlights for this year, this past year was we got Mrs. Harris underway as our ag agent, and it's been a big year for her. She's jumped right in with workshops and lots of different educational opportunities. I guess the big thing that she's been involved with is our youth agriculture program. That continues to grow. We work in conjunction with the FFA groups and the Upshur Youth Livestock Association to do our annual livestock show and sale. We had a few. We had more projects taken by just a handful less youth. We were down by around 3 or 4 kids, but the number of projects increased, and our sales kind of stayed about where they were. It was a good sale. It was a successful show and sale this year. Big learning curve for a new agent, thrown right in. And I guess as far as next year is concerned, in the coming years, we've Ms. Harris, I'm going to say Tasha, it's not be formal. Tasha and I have worked with. We've kind of identified a new data management system. The association just voted to purchase that system, and we're going to bring that in, move that in, in kind of conjunction with what we're already doing with our 4-H enrollment management. But that's going to be a new system where we can do everything we need to do all in one piece of software there. Everything from weigh-ins and project enrollment straight through to the show and sale, when it's going to take care of. It'll even cut checks for us. I don't know if it will help find the money to make those checks good, but we'll be able to write checks and do all of that. So we're excited about that. We did some initial work on some research on county fairgrounds. What we found is that there are no two counties that do their county fairgrounds the same way. It has, for by and large, been a good program for tourism and local economies, but there's no one way. No one could tell us one way that we needed to do a county fairgrounds. So we found out we didn't. There's no right or wrong way. So if we continue to work on county fairgrounds, it's going to take a whole lot of conversations with a whole lot of groups. It's basically what we found there. Highlights for the 4-H program. As you know, I work with youth ages 8 to 18 in the county. 4-H membership actually runs until 21 in the state of West Virginia. I primarily focus on kids through 3rd through 12th grade. We do have some contact with youth after they graduate high school, but primarily I stay during the school years. Our robotics program has taken off again. Currently, matter of fact, half an hour ago, I was at the middle school working with Ms. Chapman's classes with the Lego robotics program at the middle school, working with the gifted classes there in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And that will eventually turn into, in March, we're planning to start an after-school program with our Lego robotics, learning all programming and engineering and physics and lots of cool stuff that I wish had been around when I was a kid. So that's going to be taken off in March. We do have a new, what we call a special interest club or a spin club. We've got a photography spin club getting ready to go. That's been moved back. The start dates on that's been moved back a couple of times due to health issues with our instructors. But it looks like, I haven't heard any difference, so it looks like our first meeting is going to be this Saturday from 9 to 11, and that's open for any middle school or high school student who's interested in coming and learning more about photography. And that's going to be an actual club, so they'll have full 4-H membership. It's open to any Upshur County youth, but we'll make you a 4-H member before we're done with it. So, camp themes this year have been picked. We're going to go with an Olympics theme for younger camp. We're looking at a hip-hop or rap-based theme for older camp. Take off on the movie Straight Outta Compton. We're going to go straight out of Selbyville. And we're looking forward to having some fun with that. We're going to learn about other cultures and different art forms, like hip-hop and rap. We're pretty excited about that. Another big part of our office is Mindy Mall, our nutrition outreach instructor. She's not here this morning because she's actually in school doing her job. She's been, that last year she worked with over 308 Upshur County youth doing nutrition programming through schools. Her goal is to hit every elementary school in the county this year. And she's right on track to do that. She works with 3rd through 5th grade doing work on the need for physical exercise, proper nutrition, food security. You know, she has a whole section on don't eat that pizza after it's been sitting down on the counter for 5 hours and why you shouldn't do that. So she's been doing some really great things and had some great success with her programs as well. I know you're on a time constraints and have an agenda with times on it. So at this point, I'll move into questions about the program.
Could you give us a little information on your archery program?
Oh, certainly,
How
certainly.
proud of that?
I'm proud too, thanks for, I guess if I were reading my notes here, I would have remembered to talk about that. We do have a very active shooting sports program, a 4-H shooting sports program in Upshur County, with 4-H archery and 4-H air rifle. That's pretty much been run by Russ Warner, who was an educator here in Upshur County for many years. We have, by our count, the largest 4-H shooting sports program in the state of West Virginia. We had, at the opening day of archery and air rifle season for us, we had 208 children come out on a Sunday afternoon to learn about shooting sports safety and marksmanship and those kinds of things. We just returned from, our air rifle team just returned from the state air rifle competition. I'm proud to say that we had, our team placed second in the state. Our senior team placed second in the state. All 4 of our team members placed in the top 11. Actually, when they were ranked 11, 10, 9, and 8. So they were all, we've got a nice grouping there, but that was good enough to place second in the state. It was kind of an off day for us. It would have been nice to see what would have happened if everybody had been on top of the game. For whatever reason, we all shot a little low, lower scores than we normally do. So I have no doubt that at some point I'll be able to walk in here and say we're state champions, because that program continues to grow and move forward. Our junior team also did very well. We had 2 of our shooters placed in the top 10 on the junior division. So we're proud of our air rifle team. Now we start focusing a little bit on archery. We've got some local tournaments coming up. We're going to be hosting a tournament ourselves on the first Saturday in March. I think that's either the 5th or the 8th, whatever the Saturday is there. That should be an exciting time. We've got teams coming from several different counties, and it should be an all-day kind of event for us. It's a big fundraiser for our program, and it's also a good chance to get ready for the state archery tournament, state archery in the schools tournament, which is in April, at the end of April. Again, we're looking forward to a lot of success. We're not going to jinx anything by posting claims about where we'll place. I know we'll do well, and we'll be right in the mix of things, but we're looking forward to those events. That's something very, very much to be proud of in Upshur County, and I give a lot of credit to Russ Warner and some of the folks who work with him. Rick Reel is also very instrumental in working with those programs as well. I failed to mention at all our CEOS program. I also, in addition to my 4-H duties, work with the Families and Health Unit, have some responsibilities there, which means I work with our local community educational opportunity service. Outreach. I always, it's CEOS. I've got some kind of little disability there where it's either outreach or opportunities. I can never ever remember. It's been 10 years. I should know that by now. Back on track. Our CEOS program, we did get a new club in Upshur County at the Buchanan High Rise. They're called the Buchanan High Risers, the CEOS club, and every year I get to come in here and brag about the wonderful things that the women and men of our CEOS program contribute to Upshur County. I'm here to tell you today that we have documented 81,000 hours of community volunteer service in Upshur County through the CEOS program. If you're applying for a grant and you look for a dollar value to place on that, they say that we should use the amount of $23.07 an hour for community service. So if you do your math, that comes to, this is going to be fun to say, $1,868,670 worth of community service in 1 year in Upshur County. And that is something I'm incredibly proud of. And I think that goes to show, what we're able to do with a committed university, a committed program, and committed people who are part of a program like that. What we're able to offer folks in our families, folks in our communities, and folks in our counties and our state. I'm very proud of what WVU Extension has done, and we continue to be very thankful for the support that the County Commission and the Upshur County School Board have also provided for us.
We're also home to the oldest CEOS club in the state, aren't we?
We do. If you go onto the state CEOS website, it'll tell you, it says on there that the first CEOS club was in Ohio County. We have found documentation and presented that to the state that actually the Brushy Fork CEOS club started out as the Brushy Fork Farm Women's Club. Was formed 3 months before the club in Ohio County, and had our paperwork in Morgantown 3 months before Ohio County. So we're going to get them to change that, and we're very proud of the fact that we've celebrated 100 years now of service with the Brushy Fork Community Club. So that's something to be proud of as well. The Brushy Fork continues to be a very active CEOS club. The other sheet of paper I gave you, answer questions about our program, and we'll talk money here if you really want to. We presented a bunch of proposals for you. I gave the original to Carrie there, and that will eventually need to be signed once it's officially approved. But you'll notice we didn't do a whole lot of changes on there. The only changes we made were we added, as we traditionally do, we added a 3% bump up in salaries and those types of expenses. All we really ask is that if there are raises given to other county employees, that our county employees receive commensurate raises. We're not asking for anything more or anything less than what all the other officers are getting. So whatever you feel you can do, we greatly appreciate it. But we also understand that we're just going to hopefully get the same piece of pie that everybody gets.
Thank you, Greg.
That's great.
Any questions about anything you see there?
Looks good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
job.
Thank you also, ladies, for your efforts.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Greg. Our next meeting is 9:45, Jeff Blake, Upshur County 2015 season review and discussion, 2016 fee rates and schedules. Seth, I'm sure this will probably be running our 10 o'clock meeting. Do you have any problem staying until after it so we can discuss some of this?
Do you have classes at that time?
I don't have class again until 1, so I'm fine.
Okay. The reason the commission wanted to bring you in today, they're looking forward to opening the pool this year. They need to discuss their rate schedule and their staffing. Unfortunately, last year revenue decreased and expenses increased. I think that was due to a couple of different reasons. One being that there was a shorter summer season for the children at school, and people were probably taking vacations in a shorter amount of time than usual, so your visits to the pool decreased. They wanted to talk to you today about the possibility of decreasing the amount of staff that's hired for this year's season at the pool, and any input you may have with that.
Well, another issue that we don't have control over is obviously minimum wages once again increased, which will make it harder on the pool to maybe make a little bit of money, as well as the weather. Whenever you have rain 28 out of the 30 days of June, it's not really an appealing idea to go swimming, at least at the pool. Some ideas that I've had, just thinking over things that might work, maybe help us keep from spending as much money, is looking at the possibility of moving the managing staff all to salary rather than allowing them to work for a lot of overtime. And whenever you have managers at the pool from roughly 6 a.m. to some nights 11 p.m., obviously there are going to be more hours than a group that needs a flexible schedule, because they are, as well as I am, students. Also, I've talked to Tabitha about this as well, a little bit in a phone conversation that we had about a month ago, asking me to come in. Whenever we get a request for a pool party, having the pool party give an estimated number so we can accommodate staff accordingly. For the size pool that we have, from 1 to, I believe, 40 people, if you ask me in June, I can give you a better, more accurate number of people. We have to have 3 lifeguards on stand, and that's state law. If we get above that 40, we have to have 4 lifeguards on stand. Once again, that's state law. And I don't believe that it would be beneficial or safe for the county for us to overextend these lifeguards and not give them a break. You know, one thing that I am very proud to report at the pool is we had no major incidents over the 2015 season. A couple scraped knees, a couple kids couldn't swim. These are things to be expected, not things that I see as a concern. Another idea that I've had is bringing in lifeguarding staff a little bit later in time. We open at 12:30, bringing in the majority of the staff at 12:15, with a couple employees that will be designated as openers that will help the managers with opening duties, such as putting out umbrellas, making sure the chairs are in line, trash bags, things like that. By doing a couple things to streamline the process of what the lifeguards are supposed to do, what the managers are supposed to do, giving some responsibilities to each group that the other group at this point has, will, I believe, help us save time, become more efficient, and in that we can bring staff in at a later time, hopefully save some money on them. As for hiring less people, so again, we're going to have to pay 4 to 5 people, possibly 6, depending on how busy we are. Regardless, I feel like it would be, my opinion, I don't know if it would be beneficial for us to hire less total guards. That way we can have more flexibility in the schedule for those guards. The hours are going to be cut back and how many people are there either way. So you're going to be paying the same amount, just more guards means more flexibility. More flexibility means that we can work around these kids' schedules, and once they're busy. And I want them to be busy. I want our guards to be in the community and visible, doing everything that they can do. So if a kid goes to 4-H, or if a kid goes to be involved in a church organization, then they see our lifeguards and they can be an example. So if a big mean guy in red shorts with a whistle tells them to stop running in the pool, that gives them a little bit more weight, a little bit more authority for those kids. Do you guys have any questions for me? Any comments about?
When the lifeguards go on break, how long is your break?
They are on a rotation. With the system that we used last summer, it was a 15-minute rotation with 6 lifeguards, 5 on days that we didn't feel it was necessary to have 6. This would give them, with 3 lifeguards on stand, 45 minutes on stand, with roughly 45 minutes off. The system that I'm going to be implementing this summer with the lifeguards is a little bit more congruent with what the pools around the state are doing. And it's a 20-minute rolling rotation. So it's going to be 20 minutes on stand with an hour on stand with 3 lifeguards. With 4 lifeguards, that'll give them a 20-minute break. This will include the 15-minute break every half hour for 15 minutes. Then their rotation will continue through that because as adult swimming, we're not allowed to leave the pool because there's still people in the pool.
As adults, what do you mean?
People 18 and older, or children 2 years and younger with their parent are able to swim at that point without the normal congestion of the normal swimming block of 45 minutes.
That's during open swim. It's something if you go to a public pool, every public pool I've ever gone to has that. They do, it's normally 15 minutes an hour, and they just blow a whistle. All the kids between 2 and 18 have to get out of the pool, and then adults can get in the pool and teach their young children how to swim or have some time in the pool without the rowdiness of the older kids.
How many people you usually have in the pool when that?
I've seen it as low as 1, people taking advantage of that, and I've seen as many as probably 20 in the pool at that time. So you would only need 3 guards on stand at that point, and it's something that's something that the guards account for in the rotation as it is. If they see that there are more people, then they'll make sure that that 4th person jumps out. If not, then they'll ensure that there are 3 people. That's so they get their time, that they're not dealing with the rowdiness of the pool.
So the 1 to 40, where you have to eat, that means these chairs got to be occupied if you've got 1 to 40 people.
That means 3 chairs. At this point, we have 4 designated stands, one at the slide area, one at the diving board area, and then the third stays down in the shallow area on a stand, like they stand and watch. That way, if there's an issue with a child on either end, they can deal with it. The 4th stand is about halfway down on the Olympic size area, so that's still if we need the 4th person, and the 5th becomes another guard for the shallow end, because that's where the majority of people will be.
Okay, would it be possible then to let the kids swim 30 minutes, the parents swim 15 minutes, and then the guards take their 15-minute break?
Possible, yes. Something that is worth looking into. However, one of the pitfalls of our pool, and it's really good at what it is a swimming pool, is there's not a whole lot of incentive to get people there as it is. Not a whole lot of slides, not a whole lot of bells and whistles. It's a great family facility, that being said. So by cutting down the amount of time that people are actually going to be able to swim, but kids are going to be able to swim by another 15 minutes, I feel like that we will take a hit in total attendance, because that's just more incentive for them not to come. It's an unfortunate occurrence, but we need to make sure that we
We're
can do
going to
it.
have to figure some solutions, because our $73,000 loss is way too much.
And
That's what our loss was last year.
the lifeguards still have responsibilities over those breaks. So even though they're off for 15 minutes, they're still doing things, and they're still on the clock for those 15 minutes. So that 15 minutes isn't going to, that's not off the clock time, that's time that they're off the stand doing other things away from the pool. Unfortunately, I don't see any money to be saved in that 15 minutes, which will be an hour and 15 minutes a day. I wish that was something that we could look into, but
Well, maybe we'll have to shorten the days that the pool's open. Just limit them. But we've got to,
right.
like
I
I
mean,
said, $73,000 is just too much money to lose.
we're looking at times that work better for people. You know, as a county that values working, a lot of families can't come to the pool because 2 parents that work, you don't really have anybody to take them. Rather than being open from 12:30 to 5:30 on some weekdays, moving to maybe 1 or 2 evenings a week, rather than having day hours, having evening hours, so families can better accommodate.
Maybe we'll try 11. This is what the pool.
It's worth a shot, and like I said, it's a recreational facility, and it's our pool. You know, the thing with the VA is the VA pool in Clarksburg is the federal government has a hand in it, as well as some of the people of Clarksburg, but it's not their own. The people of Upshur County 34, 35 years ago, once again, if you ask me in the summer, I can give you a date, they raised the money to build this pool along with a grant from the federal government. So if we push public support, I believe that it's a tool for the county. It's an investment that I believe needs to be made, especially with the summer programs that we do have, Mountain Cash, Dr. Youth. It's an outlet for them as well.
So one of the things you need to consider is your fee schedule for next year. You have an example of the fee schedule, I believe, from 2015. Your admissions were $4. You had season pool passes for one person was $100, and then for each additional family member, you would add $25. You had pool parties from 6:30 to 8:30 and from 9 to 11. Very little people took advantage of the 9 to 11 party.
And I feel a lot of that is people didn't know about it. We should push that more. So if it's not scheduled, we don't have to worry about it being paid for. The facility is going to have to run either way to ensure that the water stays clean. So it's adding the staff and doing so. If we advertise, I feel like better. People didn't know that it was existing. People were surprised that whenever we had the few, they were surprised that it was happening at 9 o'clock at night. Whenever we would get phone calls asking about the party then.
Now, would it be possible, I know right now you have open swim from 12:30 to 5:30, and then you have from 5:30 to 6:30 to prepare for the 6:30 party?
Right.
Would it be possible to take that party to 6 o'clock, 6 to 8, and then do an 8 to 10?
Yeah, I think that's a better system than we have now. That hour is really a lost hour. It's not, the lifeguards prepare, they clean, but it doesn't take them an hour to get the facility ready for the next event coming in.
I mean, the pool parties are somewhere that you do make a little bit of revenue, so would you like to keep the second pool party and just change the times? Do a 6 to 8 and then an 8 to 10? Is that possible to just transition from one party to the other? Or are you gonna need a half an hour break between those, or?
The only issue that I can foresee is garbage, and I can make sure that the staff is taking care of that as it becomes available, and then the overturn between the parties, so as one group's leaving, the next group's coming in. If we can, rather than having if we can keep a half hour between the parties, I feel like that will allow a smoother transition between them, and will allow the staff to make sure that, okay, the locker rooms are clean, and that way people are getting, what they pay for, since, they're paying for the pool to be clean and ready, we can have it ready for the next group to come in.
Now, the pool to 4-H, how many lifeguards a day do you send up there?
We have to send 2 every day that they request them. Once again, as per state law, we can't have 1 lifeguard on stand at a time, so there's a backup. And besides pool only requires 2. Now, the lifeguards up at the youth camp, depending on the schedule up there, they might not get a break in the day, just because of how hectic the schedule is up there, and we can't afford to send that 3rd lifeguard to help them out, to rotate them on.
Do they ride together when they go up there?
Yes. We tell them to make sure that you carpool and generally they trade off. One will ride one day and one will ride the next day, and one will go the next day. So one person's not having to drive.
How long are they up there?
Depends on the camp. Whenever I worked up there 2 years ago, swimming hours would range from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock to 4 to 5 in the evening generally. Sometimes it extends. Sometimes we have to send lifeguards in the evenings because the camp requests evening parties, and we're responsible for staffing that facility. So
normally the lifeguards are only actually working there for an hour or 2.
between, I would say 2 to 4 hours at a time. And then an hour maybe in the evening if they ask for an evening swim.
Seth, do you mind to continue the discussion after our 10 o'clock appointment?
Not at all.
Okay, thank you.
It's 10 o'clock. We have an appointment with John R. Simons, discussion of safe site for safe structures and sites, case number 051211-01. John?
I'm here.
Thanks for coming in.
The photos as of this morning.
Okay. How do I move
The
this?
arrow key to the left.
Oh, I see it right here. Yeah, but I did something wrong, John.
Right there.
Oh, okay.
That's the arrow key.
That's what I did on that.
I'm good. Anyway, I got a letter from you all saying that I hadn't responded to your actions prior, and I sent a letter back, and you have copies that I did. I came to a meeting. I also saw Carrie and gave her photographs for a meeting you were having.
I read that letter, and I want to clarify something.
Okay.
Carrie operates at our direction, and any letter she sent you, she was directed by us as the commission took a vote.
And she signed it, that's why I addressed it to her.
I understand that, but, yeah, she only operates, does what we tell her.
Gotcha.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Anyway, when I dropped the letter off, I discussed the situation with Carrie, and I said, may I have a copy of the regulation? And she gave it to me. And when I looked through the regulation, it appears that the intent, even if you look at the purpose of the regulation, it is to prevent unsafe or toxic materials and particularly eyesores that you can see. There's nothing about my place that meets any of the purpose of this. Now, you can certainly go around and pick at a spot or two and find something that Carrie called refuse. Now, refuse is a very loose term that can apply to anything. Limbs, I don't care what you want to call it. Refuse is just anything that could be on the ground. So I spent a couple hours this morning and picked up those things that were in the pictures that she complained about. So it took a couple hours to load up the truck. The guys took a trash run this morning, and that stuff is gone that she complained about. So as far as I can tell, when you look at my place from the road, there is nothing outstanding that would catch anybody's eye. I see many, many properties that are far worse. I can drive any road in the county and find them.
Difference being, we received a complaint back in 2011.
Yes.
Two complaints.
Two complaints, as a matter of fact, and we have to act on it. Now, if you want to put a complaint in on the property, we'll take those.
Well, 2011 to 2016, that's 5 years. One of the people has moved away, and I don't even know that the other person has a complaint at this point. Have you ever asked?
Nope, I haven't.
So I don't know why we're continuing this. I've done a lot of cleanup on that place. There may be, there's some materials there that are building materials. I've lived on a farm all my life, and we never had to hide stuff. All my stuff is organized back along the creek and in a nice orderly stack. Now, there is one batch of materials there that you can see in one of the pictures that a friend of ours came up from Atlanta about a month or two ago, and he had a lot of tools, and we have them on the deck, and it's completely surrounded by a fence, and we got a tarp over it. There's also a trailer up there that was involved in a wreck when we were doing cleanup, and we haven't moved that yet, but we've taken all of our trailers, all of the equipment, moved them in a nice, neat row along the creek. Now, in one of those pictures there, you'll see some tin roofing laying at the end of that trailer. That will be going today. We have a friend that wanted that, so we'll move that out. So, I don't know what else I can do. The materials, we have some material that are building materials. We have some material that is going to be recycled, but it's too wet down there to do it now. What do you want?
It appears from today's photographs that you have made improvements there from the last photos that we received. And I commend you for that, and I appreciate that. I know you've been diligent recently to improve the property. And I thank you for that. We have to act on complaints. As the ordinance is here, it was passed a number of years ago. And as you indicated, in 2011, you received, or the complaint was received, 2 complaints were received by the commission. I can only believe that the inordinate amount of time, passage between 2011, we did not pursue this for a number of reasons on our behalf. We had period of time in there where we had about, I think, 3 different administrators. We had a couple of different assistant administrators who handle this particular area that the commission oversees. And there was no question there's some delay in initiating the process. And we try to be understanding, we try to be, I think if you would look at it, we have a time capsule here that has been prepared relative to the dates of the various letters being sent out and the replies, and I think anyone looking at that would say that we were not over heavy-handed in any attempt to enforce the statute. We try to cooperate with people. Sometimes we'll send more than one letter out requesting a response, and very times often we don't get a response, and so then we follow a procedure to follow, to ensure that at least the people are aware that we're serious about the matter. We've come to the point where we've had to have cooperation from the sheriff's office to go out and take a look, ensure they comply with the statute. I think the evidence, or the emphasis on the statute, of course, is, as you say, even in the statute itself, it states repair, alteration, or improvement. So the very first sentence in the ordinance regulating repair, alteration, or improvement, or the vacating and enclosing or removal or demolition or any combination thereof. And it's my interpretation, maybe I'm not a lawyer, but it's a very broad definition.
Yeah, it's actually too broad.
And that, of course, the statute was, I think the year 2000 was when this was adopted. But we have very rarely do we have complaints. I mean, so it's very rare that we have to follow enter into negotiations with the property owners. That's a good thing. But again, this was based on 2 complaints that came in simultaneously.
Right, it's different.
Why don't, I have a suggestion, why don't we 3 commissioners go up and take a look?
You can't do that. That allows us to do that.
Why would we want to do that when John took time enough to bring photos this morning down here to show us? I don't know why we would want to drive out there unless we're doubting what he has showed us on it, and I'm not. And I agree with your thing in reference to Kerry Wallace. You will not receive anything from Kerry Wallace that we don't know about.
Okay.
And with that being said, you talked to me up at the Lions Club and said you made some improvements or whatever, and I could drive by there, and I told you to drop pictures off to Kerry. And I also agree with your statement that you can drive through this county, and I can guarantee you won't have to drive far from your house to see a lot worse situation than is at your house. Unfortunately, you had a couple people made a couple of complaints. Once they make the complaint, we've got to look into it. And I appreciate you taking time to come down here. And it's my opinion, I don't think we need to drive out to your place, because I don't doubt a thing that you brought in here and showed in it. And it does look extremely better than it did when you got the first letter with all that stuff piled out in front of your place. You know what I mean?
There was a big pile that my son had carried in there, and they've got that all cleaned up now.
I think the original complaint was that some of the debris or some of the issues
I understand. Blowing around.
Blowing into the neighbor's property and
And
whatnot.
that hasn't been happening for ages.
So if you have a few different options. If you believe that the letter or the photos show compliance with the ordinance, and you could dismiss the complaint at this point and close the file. Or you could do an investigation if you would like to go up there yourself and look at the property. Or you could choose to send the deputies up as you have in the past on the 15th of each month for the other safe sites and structures properties and report back to you.
Do we need a motion? Then I'll entertain a motion.
I think that,
Your suggestion?
I would say that there has been an attempt based on the photographic evidence. There has been an attempt on his part to remedy the concerns that have been covered by the letters and the inspection, so I would...
We are also continuing to remove some things that are still around. And as I said, there's some metal that will be recycled, just too wet to do it now.
I would concur with Commissioner Brady that this matter be dismissed. He's been...
That's your motion?
That would be my motion.
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I really appreciate
Thanks.
your efforts as well.
Thanks for your time.
There's something else on there, but I hope we didn't mess that up. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Good setback.
You bet. Sorry.
Okay, Seth, go ahead. Where were we?
We're trying to save some of that $73,000, you know what I mean?
I think you're on the evening pool parties. Would you like to do a pool party from 6 to 8 and then 8:30 to 10:30? The pool parties are where you at least break even or make a little bit of revenue. Last year, I think we only had 1 or 2 9 to 11 parties. When people would call to request a reservation, we would ask if they would like the 6:30 to 8:30 or the 9 to 11. A lot of those individuals that called our office had stated that they were having a party for a younger child. However, I think now that we've had a full season with the opportunity to have a later party, the word may get around, and you could also include it in your advertisement for this year.
Or if we can work in conjunction with local media to make sure that people know that that the 8:30 to 10:30 option is available. We can get a response that way as well.
Use social media.
So at the bare minimum, how many lifeguards per shift?
The bare minimum during the day and open swim hours, 5 to 6, depending on the day. We've collected data over the summer and have determined what days are busier than others. And I try, when I'm making a schedule, to staff according to those
Now,
needs.
do the lifeguards collect admissions?
We have admissions clerks to do that, so the lifeguards are out of the office, and so they don't deal with money. Our admissions clerks are trained in how to,
How many clerks do we have?
as well as a manager who is in the office to assist the admissions clerk if they need it.
Now, does the admissions clerk stand at the gate or at the cash register in the front when you walk through the doors?
There's the cash register at the front.
Okay, so the gate was only open during
Right.
swim,
Between swim practice and whenever we would have a private party is another means for.
okay. During the swim lessons in the morning, I think we should shut that gate because that's a way for people to get around paying for the lesson. Not that they do that, but it's a possibility.
Where is the gate?
On the side of the pool, if you're walking down the hill, it's on your right before you go around the building.
Yeah, I think we need to close that. Okay.
So again, the evening pool party. 6 to
What are your
8
thoughts
and 8:30 to
about
10:30, or
What do you think, Seth?
As I said before, the facility is going to be running either way, and every hour that the facility is running is money.
It's an opportunity.
It is an opportunity as well, and we're looking at if the party's not scheduled, you're not paying somebody to be there.
Right,
So
and that's,
you're not taking a loss if you have that next party. If anything, it's a gain because it's another opportunity for the pool to profit.
If there's not a pool party scheduled, the lifeguards leave after the first pool party. They only stay if there's a second pool party scheduled.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Are you going to do movies again at the pool?
It was that was an attempt by a director that wasn't myself. I'm, at the time, was a lifeguard. I'm not sure how successful that was. It's an option. Getting people to the pool, I believe, is the best way to combat the fact that we're losing money. Though, yes, we can make make changes in terms of staff, lower the number of people that are there. Simple fact is, if people aren't coming and paying to be there, we're not going to make any money at all. So any option that we have, that we can have to get people to the pool is an option that I believe that we should explore. I'm sure that you gentlemen would agree with that statement.
Pool parties.
Yes.
I'd be in favor of having possibly 2 pool parties.
From 6 to 8 and 8:30 to 10:30.
Yeah.
Last year, the cost for a pool party was $175. Are you looking at increasing that or keeping it the same?
I would say, even though we're at a point of some concern financially, I don't know that we should increase that. That's a substantial amount of money. Is it paying,
What's the cost
does it
us
pay
to
to
have
say,
the pool party?
yeah, are we losing money with the pool
It
parties?
depends on how many lifeguards you have working. It depends on the size of the pool party. Like Seth stated, the regulation, if you have more than 40 people, you have to have 4 lifeguards on duty. If you only have 40 people or less, they only have to have 3 lifeguards.
Well, Seth, I think, made the recommendation, you try to identify how many people are going to be at the party, get an estimate from the individuals holding it, so we can anticipate.
And with a 2-hour pool party, especially in the cases that there are 30 kids there at worst, whenever I look at the schedule and I see that Upshur County Youth Baseball is reserved for the pool, they can go one of 2 ways. The whole league can show up and I have 150 kids running around the pool, or one team can show up and I have 15 kids. That distinction is important because I can better estimate.
Would you like to do the same charge if they have 40 or fewer individuals that are coming to the party, and then charge an additional fee if they have more than 40 people, since you're going to be having additional expense?
I think that would be a good thing to look at.
Sliding scale is what.
A sliding scale, I mean, up to so many people, $175, but if the number doubles, which we have to have additional lifeguards, and I think we should up the charge, you know what I mean? For the extra people.
For the lifeguards, it's a 3-hour shift, estimated at $875. That would be $27, give or take. I'm not a mathematician, but so I believe adding lifeguards, $27 or so,
200.
exceeding the 175 is necessary if you're.
The sliding scale may address that.
Well, like I said before, this is one of the only places that you make any revenue at all. I mean, you lose money or you break even on everything else. You had a charge of $175 last year, no matter what size the party was. You would have the option to do a sliding scale if you have over 40 individuals that are attending the party, to raise the fee if you would like. The fee schedule, after you decide what you would like, will be on the agenda for approval next week.
There comes a point where you have diminishing return. If you charge too much, you're not going to have sufficient revenue to begin with.
Because you're not gonna have the expense for that second pool party.
Right.
You know what I mean, if they don't show up.
But I think what we're looking at here, we've been able, through diligent efforts over the last several years, compliment Seth for his diligence and the other individuals. Initially, several years ago, we were facing a $100,000 a year deficit on the operation of the pool. We've been able, through various means, to reduce that down into the $70,000, $73,000 level. with the budget restrictions that we're having and have had, and we can anticipate based on revenue projections, we have to come to some understanding as to how we maintain this quality of life feature for the county, and for the people. And then that is the conundrum, that is the issue. How do we provide that service to the community? You know, there are voices in the community who say, well, if it doesn't pay for itself, it shouldn't be there. But that is not, in my opinion,
We don't have a choice. It's got to be there or
it
something.
has to be. Seth indicated in his presentation that the people of Upshur County supported it 34, 35 years ago. And it was obtained, as you indicated, through a grant. And the fine print on the grant reads that it shall remain open in perpetuity, basically, forever, regardless of what the financial system is. You know, it's what many people have recognized. People often say grants are free money. Well, no, it's not free money. There's no such thing as a free lunch. But often, many times, grants come with strings attached. And this is a very long string. It's a 35-year string. And it goes beyond 35 years. It goes way beyond the lifetime of the commissioners currently sitting. It goes beyond the lifetime of anyone at Upshur County at this point. And we're not in a position, because we have inquired as to what the results would be, and if I understand correctly, if we were not to continue honoring this commitment we made 34, 35 years ago, it's been reported to me that we would cease to obtain other federal grants in the future. Is that correct?
After a period of, I believe, 5 years, yes.
So that would impact us across the board in so many of our operations that we provide, you know, to the community. So it's a difficult issue to appear before the board, and it's difficult for you as the director to try to accommodate those facts.
By no means am I a businessman. To you guys, I apologize to that, and as well as to people of the county for not being able to cut that $73,000 down a little bit. However, like I said, we run easily one of the safest pools in the state. You go look over records of other pools, and you're going to have more incidents than 15 that I have in my Excel file from last summer. It's getting people to the pool. It's hard to compete with Giants whenever they have water slides and kiddie areas that dump water on you, whenever they have the bells and whistles. We offer a family facility. We offer probably the best customer service in the area, at least in my experience. So,
But it's been reported to us, Seth, that some of our neighboring counties that have pools with the bells and whistles, as you say, they're running deficits as well. So I don't know if there's any pool that or any recreation facility similar to the pool that pays for itself. So that has to be, I think, in some cases, a given. That this is going to be something that it is a deficit, but it provides a quality of life. We provide quality of life funding when available to other programs, nutrition programs, and other, you know, fairs and things of that. So I don't think the pool should be considered any less a quality of life issue than some of the others that we provide. It's just a matter of trying to take a responsible position as individuals who have responsibility for the funding of the county. That's County Commission's main duty and function, as mandated by the legislature, is to fix the budget and ensure that the expenditure of the taxpayers' money is set forth in a proper way. So that's what we try to do. Sometimes it's more difficult than others.
Is there a possibility that you could partner with some local businesses, allow them to put advertising up and collect a fee from them to offset some of that? Even, is there any business
Well,
big
we might
enough
have to talk
to?
to the grant people, because they're real sticklers on what we can and can't do with the property charge. But we can check with them and see about that.
We have been approached by a couple local businesses. A group of people that frequent the pool are the grandchildren of Mr. Andrade, who owns the jewelry store downstairs, down the street. We've been offered through them to be able to advertise through their business, but I don't know if it's ever been looked at the other way around. We're going to need to look into, if that's something that we're going to explore, we need to look into whether or not that's allowed by the grant.
So did you get your answer, Carrie?
No. How much would you like to charge for pool parties? Last year was $175.
I thought we was gonna do $175, the same we did last year, unless the numbers went up or we had to furnish more lifeguards, and if so, we were gonna raise the fee up to cover the extra expense, is what I thought was mentioned here by the commissioner.
Sliding scale possible.
Would you like to do a fixed $25 increase? I think that would be a lot easier for the office when we're scheduling pool parties than to,
Would that cover the extra expense for lifeguard?
well, do you have to ever go above
I mean, will it?
ever go above 4 lifeguards?
If we're above that 40 mark, it's ideal, because I really don't want to cut the lifeguards short of what now is going to be a 20-minute break in terms of their hour or so one stand. That way they're as fresh as they can be whenever it would come to an emergency situation. If the party would exceed 80, then we would need to bring in another lifeguard as well, so that same principle would apply. We can add the lifeguard in since we're putting another lifeguard out.
So you could do $175 for under 40 or under. You could do 41 to 79, $200, and 80 and up, $225. You want to cover the
Cost the extra lifeguard.
So how do you schedule the lifeguards for a party now? Do you schedule for the maximum?
I try to schedule 5. If we're running short on staff, 4. I'm short on hours, 4, to keep them from exceeding their maximum allotted amount of hours. And that is just one of those just in case the whole league shows up. That way we're not as run thin as. And with the exception of myself, and I will take care of it. April, I believe, is the next class at Westland. They have lifeguarding classes. My managers are all but one, other than myself, lifeguard trained. And I want that to continue to happen, just in case we would run into a situation like that a manager can help the lifeguards as needed. That way the lifeguards aren't run thin.
So you guys want to do the sliding scale then?
I do.
Okay. Now, the other question I have, the Board of Education gets a discount for their pool parties. Last year, it was $125 rather than $175. They, in most cases, will have over 80 individuals at a pool party, which with the sliding scale will be $225. What will you charge the Upshur County schools for their pool parties?
And they've already
I
called
would-
the schedule some.
Recognizing that we try to be as accommodating as we can to this board, I would recommend that we increase them to 175, which is a standard we've been charging for others.
Is that a motion?
That would be a motion. Unless there's some discussion among another alternate
Second.
dollar figure.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded, all in favor that we raise the pool to the Board of Education to 175?
Would you do the same, sorry,
Go ahead.
you also give the same discount to the Upshur County Public Library, Camp Toomey, and 4-H. Would you raise that to 175 as well?
I would recommend that. We're trying to be consistent, yet at the same time, we're trying to offset the deficit.
And I would second that, because as long as you treat everybody the same, we don't have any problems.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we, that the school, 4-H, and the library, we raised the fee to $175.
Or Tony as well.
And what?
Camp Tommy as
Councilman
well.
Cam Tommy, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and motion passes.
Okay, you still have your daily admissions. Last year, that was $4 per person.
If I remember looking at the report, we only had, was it like 4,000 for the year?
Right around that.
Now, how many of those do you, what percentage of those do you think are repeats?
Conservative estimate, 70%.
70% of that are repeats.
Most people that come to the pool once over the summer will come again. But it's getting new clientele that's been a problem.
What do you guys think about raising that to $5?
Well, the facts or the inference is stated that you have 4,000 people, 4,000,
It's 4,700, I think.
and it's 70% of those are repeat. That's like 2,800.
Right.
And no competition either. Argument could be made that your reality is that with rare exception, the pool is being operated for the benefit of 2,800 people. In a county of 2,000 or 24,000, about 10% of the population. I'm not saying that as a judgment either way, but I'm saying that as a factual basis for the use of the pool. Make that observation.
Go ahead, Jerry, I'd like to hear what you have to say.
You have a total of 7 people, plus yourself. And I didn't figure this. I don't know what all of them make per hour, but in an 8-hour period, you're paying out approximately $572. And that don't include you.
Right.
And if you charge, say $200 for the use of the pool for 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, whatever, and you have that space in between. Now this is for an 8-hour period, but you only get 2 pool parties in that 8-hour period, is that correct?
Right.
So you're losing money even charging, well, I mean, the way I looked at it right there, just the 7 people that are working, it comes to $572.
You're gonna lose money no matter what you do.
Yeah, that's on 8 hours, but.
8 hours, yeah, well, they're there.
Yeah, pool parties are 2 hours.
Okay, but you're gonna get 2 pool parties in the 8-hour period from 4 o'clock in the evening until 10:30.
No, they actually get there as early as 6 o'clock because they have swim team practice before they open at 12:30 is the problem. And then if they stay until 10:30, it's a lot more than an 8-hour period.
Jerry, the problem is the swimming pool will never
They don't close.
make a dime, and we can't close it. With that being said, I think the commissioners would like to be able to have access to the people who likes to use the pool. It was a great thing when it was originally built. And it was with the grant, and the fine print said, and with that being said, I think, I can't speak for them,
Yeah.
commissioners, we'd like to keep it open. We know we're gonna lose a little money.
You're gonna have to keep it open.
And we would like to lose a little less than 73,000, which is down from over 100,000 when I started 3 years ago. So we are gaining, we just need to do something to
You're
get
gonna
that.
have to raise the price of the pool party.
And the problem is if you raise the
Of course,
price,
right to work's gonna kick in here before long, and everybody will be making $4 an hour.
and if you raise the price of what it should be, I mean, you'd be up to $20 per person going in there, which is nobody gonna pay to start with. So you're still stuck. So we just try to do, in my opinion, what we can even if it comes to the point, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
that a levy is being placed if the citizens in Upshur County would like to go ahead and fund this pool, or if we cut, instead of having it open 8 weeks a year, we cut it down to 4 weeks, you know what I mean? Somewhere, we're gonna have to cut the expense.
I think we need to raise the admission to $5.
Okay.
See
And what
how
we'll do
this
is-
year runs, but we need to put a levy on the next election, just to let the people decide if they want to support the board or not.
Okay. And you all can vote on the fee schedules that you have today on your next agenda. So we'll just go from there. So $5 for admissions.
So you made the motion.
She said we could make the motion to approve.
Because the whole entire fee schedule will be on your agenda next week. The pool passes, last year were $100, and then if you had a family of 2, for each additional person, they would increase by $25. So if your family was 2, it would be $125 for a seasonal pool pass, 3 would be $150, 4 would be $175, and so on.
How many pool passes do we sell?
I know Tabitha has those numbers on there.
You gotta get more participation and, Georgie's one of them, more money.
It seems to me that marketing is what you really need to aim at, not raising the price line. I'm afraid you'll discourage people.
And the $4 for the day pass raised a lot of eyebrows at the pool. A question that I had to answer a whole lot. People weren't very happy about it. Raising another $1, I don't see it detrimentally impacting the amount of people that would be at the pool. However, we're going to get some backlash, and that's something that I can carry.
And you know you're gonna get that,
Oh,
because
yeah.
anytime that somebody raises it, because
Oh, yeah.
everybody wants something this day and age for nothing, and they want somebody else to pay for it. Thank you for all you do too. I know it's not easy.
Only lost a little bit of hair, but I got a little bit left.
You can see what happened to us, you know what I mean? You don't want this position.
I don't want to be that seat at all.
I'm looking through Tabitha's file right now. I don't see the number of pool passes that you sold last year. I apologize. We do sell them here in our office and also at the pool.
Let's, what do we raise? We raised from 4 to 5, right? And we raised pool parties from
Just
175 to 200.
what's the pool passes now a year?
$100 for one person and $25 for each additional person.
I believe that the pool passes is an area that we can raise for the people that use the pool passes and continually come, and many of them do buy in family. They're breaking even. Some families by June, well, at the end of June, they're at the pool that frequently. So a raise there, I don't believe will be a detrimental change to our financial state.
Do you have a suggestion?
Right now, they're $100 per person with $25 for each additional.
Is the pool pass itself something that is in the levy that needs to continue to happen?
We don't have a levy for the pool right now.
Oh, not the, but the grant.
No, the fee structure is not.
Something that I've struggled over. I'm sorry. So I'm suggesting doing away with the idea of a pool pass and changing it to a premium membership. The premium membership will allow slightly earlier admission into the pool, getting the seat that you want earlier. This will also include a drop in the initial cost. You show your card, and rather than it being $5, it would be 3 or 2, a smaller fee. It's something to continue to bring money in, even if these people are at the pool every day. Like I said, if you have 30 people in pool pass and all of them have broken even, those are the 30 people that we need to have that extra lifeguard up. That extra lifeguard up, even if one person pays for the pool, you're losing a lot of money.
So you're saying premium passes give them an extra 10 minutes to come in the pool earlier?
Right.
And plus charge them a $3 fee?
Right. And that premium pass would be, I ideally less than what a pool pass is now, but I'm not sure what your guys' opinions on this idea are. I wish that the pool pass were an effective system, but the people that get it use it when they use it frequently, and that's a lot of the admission into the pool. It's not factored into the numbers that I'm sure that you guys have already been given. The numbers that you guys have been given are on general admission. But the pool passes themselves are a factor that we have to look into in terms of the number of people at the pool and how many staff that we have to have at any given time.
Can I make a suggestion that Seth can record the numbers of people that are coming early or maybe would be interested? We could do some type of survey at the pool this year to look at implementing a premium pool pass next year, because we really don't have a lot of time to decide on what you're going to do. We've had multiple people calling the office to schedule the parties and requesting the fee schedule. So if you could have more data to provide to you for next year, you would be able to make a better decision on if it would be more lucrative to do the premium pool pass or to
Versus
stay with the pool pass that you have right now.
Yeah, one of the problems you have right now is you don't know what the actual usage of a pool pass is by an individual. You don't have the metric for that. So there may be somebody that pays $100 for a pool pass and then he uses it 6 times during the year. I mean, there's going to be a few that are regulars, and you know there are. But there's also going to be a lot of people, if you market those things, that will buy them and then would anyways near use up what would have been even the normal entry fees, that they buy it for the convenience. So I really think you need more information on
What
that.
if we left the pool passes at what they are, and then charged them $250 admission for each person?
I'd say that would depend on how many days you're going to be open a year, because somebody would have to calculate if it's going to be an incentive to buy a pool pass. People are buying a pool pass believing that they're going to be coming to the pool more than the 20 times they would have to break even. If you're only open a couple months and then you account for weather or vacation, etc., I don't know if people would continue to buy a pool pass plus pay an additional fee.
So then they pay $5 a trip. If they go buy a pool pass.
Yes.
I wonder, maybe you could sell maybe blocks of pool passes, daily pool passes, and maybe a discount for a number in the block.
You sell daily pool passes at your regular admission rate. So what Jackie is proposing, I believe, is sell 20 pool passes for $90, something less than $100.
I like that. That's a good idea.
And maybe possibly sell at different outlets around town.
Make a book.
Yeah, because, you know, people maybe don't want to go to the pool to buy, you know, if they have something in mind, you know.
Right now we sell them here or at the pool. If you're interested in selling them at local retailers, we could talk to them about that. The
Maybe
only thing
banks
is
or
now, we sign all the pool passes that we sell, so it's a way to track them because they could be duplicated. You did mention this year you want the county seal on those, so there'd be really no way for someone else to use the seal unless you want to implement some other way of tracking those.
If you print some of the pool pass in light blue, it will not reproduce on a copier, if that's what you're thinking of.
Somebody might still be able to recreate it on their computer though.
You use card stock, you print them on cards. Well, Ross and Press prints them for you, but they're on a light blue or a light green card stock depending. So if you go to Staples and buy the card stock,
I think that's more trouble than somebody would go to if you're preparing them that way.
I believe, and with the county seal on them, if they are in local businesses, somebody has the gumption to go reproduce a Upshur County seal.
we wouldn't actually put the seal on them until they were sold. So that would be the difference between whether it was a pool pass that wasn't sold or was sold by the county. You know, you may be able to get a lot more revenue by selling them at the local retailers, and if some were duplicated, then you'd still make more money than if you were just selling them here.
It's availability, and it makes us easier to
Yep, marketing.
get to us, and people will know that we're here. It's $30 for a box of day passes and possibly clearing that and extra sales. I don't know if people will buy them, but I know that it's a lot more attractive at Go-Mart than if you see a pool pass than if you're just sitting at home and, well, let's go to the pool. And people see that and they have something to do.
Well, and also, I mean, from my speaking, if I see something in a venue that is accessible, I'll probably pick it up, and even if I don't ever use it, I've got it. But I mean, you have to put an expiration date on it. You know, I spend a lot of money on stuff I never use,
That's right.
so.
That's why I think your idea is really good, because there will be people that'll buy them and will use them, and that's money made that.
We want them to use them, of course, but, you know, if they don't, you're still getting revenue.
And you're getting it right up front.
I think we ought to sell pool passes in blocks of like 20, 50, 100, and sell them at like $3 or $3.50 a pass.
How about five and a buck, like we sell raffle tickets, and we usually do 6, but 5 and charge $20 for 5, which would normally cost $25. That'd be basically the $4 rate.
Which brings it back down to
today.
$4, but a lot of
Yeah.
people will buy them and think, I'm gonna buy a book of them because I can save them. They'll use 1 or 2 of them
Correct,
and never use the rest. That's a great idea.
yeah. And that's an
I
affordable
mean,
block,
even if
20
they
bucks,
use them, you're still not losing.
easily done.
What do you think, Karen?
That seems fine to me. It's your decision.
Okay.
What do you think, JC?
I'm for anything that we can do to try to change the direction in which we're going. If
We're all on that same
Instead of
page.
season
I understand.
passes, we just sell blocks of pool
Yeah.
passes.
Okay.
Okay.
And you want to do them in books of 5 or 6
I would do the books of 5
for $20?
for $20, and if you go up there and get it, it's $5 a piece. And a lot of people buy the books and they'll either lose them or don't show up, or they'll buy 2 or 3 books, and that's a great idea.
Okay, so we'll
But
eliminate
you
the
could-
season pool passes altogether. Okay.
But you're hoping, the only thing from this, just from a standpoint, you're selling a product that you're hoping people don't use. To a degree, I mean, they don't use entirely.
Enough of them that you don't lose.
I don't use it.
I hope they do use
Spend lots
it,
of
Right.
but they're
Right.
buying them in quantity, they're
Right.
saving, what, 20%?
Right,
Where if they buy a pool pass for $100 in 1 month,
right, I understand.
if they use it, then there's room in 2 months for, that's a really big discount.
You can still have your pool passes
And
available.
nature being what it is, then I'm not
if you want
using
them.
it.
This is just an
The
additional.
cost goes up and down in terms of her purpose of.
Private lessons are $10 per 45 minutes. Will you be keeping that the same?
Somebody approached me the other day and said that's awful cheap for swimming lessons. I don't know.
No, do
Well,
not.
you're definitely covering the lifeguard cost of the 45 minutes.
How much of it?
$10 for 45 minutes, and it's one-on-one.
Now, if that covers the cost, we need to provide that service. You know, people need to know how to swim.
Do you think $15 would discourage anybody for 45 minutes? That's not very much.
Especially for one-on-one.
I really think $15 reasonable.
What's
Think
that?
what?
So I think that's reasonable to increase that.
Let's take that to 15.
How many lessons do you do?
We schedule them in week blocks, and that way the
For the
kids,
year, how many did you do?
it was
We got
today for
457.
457 kids. from
Right,
Upshur.
times $5. That's more money.
And that might not be 457 kids, that might be split over, but still, it's 457 times a kid got an opportunity to know how to do a life skill.
Okay. Your shelter rentals, a large shelter is $75 with the kitchen, a large shelter without the kitchen is $50, and a small shelter is $25. It does not come with the kitchen. We compared these to city rates last year, and that's why I did not increase them before. Would you like to keep those the same?
I think that would most likely be the proper thing to do, my recommendation.
Lap swimming. Last year was between 5:30 and 6:30, correct? I think we had talked about making this between 6:45 a.m. to 7:45 a.m. because the manager's there anyways. And you're not gonna have that hour because they moved the pool party, the pool party up to 6 o'clock rather than 6:30.
I don't know if you've talked to Rod yet with the race swim team. He's talked about possibly not being able to use the pool in the mornings anymore just because they don't have the numbers. If that's the case, then we'll obviously have to look at a different time. I feel like it'd be silly to have a lap swimming time. The manager comes in at 6 o'clock, check the water, and then have to leave for a couple hours until the swim team got there, but the splasher swim team got there.
Could lap swim be from 11:30 to 12:30, or the individuals that are doing lap swim are working Monday through Friday, I expect?
I would expect that they are, but it's one of those, if you offer it to people that are actually using it, and there aren't many people that really take advantage of lap swimming, then they will come, they'll find a way to come. I would anticipate anyway.
What if we make the lap swim on the days that splashers uses the pool, because they're definitely gonna continue to use the pool?
The only issue with that being is splashers would have to give up either lane in the 25 area for their practice, so lap swimming could occur, or splashers would always have to practice in the Olympic size, and that's not the way that Summerlin competes.
So last
It's a logistical problem. We would have to figure some things out.
year lap swimming was 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. However, now you're gonna start your pool parties at 6 o'clock p.m. And they're $50 for a pass or $3 per day
Oh, that was in the evenings.
after people got off work.
How much were they?
$50 for a season pass for lap swim for an hour. And you offered it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I believe, or no, you offered that every day. And $3 per day if they didn't have a season pass. You could limit the number of days.
Limit the number of days or sell them the discounted packets.
Don't forget, they're only paying, well, they were only paying $3 a day. So it would be a different.
That's an hour of pool time as opposed to the 5 hours of open swim.
As long as they're there when the managers would already be there anyways, it's additional revenue. You're not having any more cost because they're checking the waters, cleaning, and doing those kind of things, and it's a way for you to make that extra money while they're already there. You're not having any other overhead on top for them swimming there.
I don't know about that. Monday through Wednesday's gonna be hard for me to still have on Fridays.
Casey, you got a problem?
Always in clerk's usually, except on Thursdays when I'm here.
And do we know
It's only
if
for
you
1 hour.
for lap swimming last year?
2 individuals use the lap swim. That's why it's necessary to have it during a time that the managers are already there. I believe they both purchased pool passes for the entire year, so you made $100 from that. but you don't have any additional overhead if the managers are already there.
They're only doing it 1 hour a day. It's not, they're not doing, spending more time there. It's just a limited amount of time. I would say keep it at $50 for the pass, but maybe increase the day by $1.
You did increase the other daily passes
Yeah.
to $4. Okay. Now, would you like to decide on the dates for that, depending on when the swim when the swim
What if we,
teams?
wait a minute, let's go back to that lap swimming. What if we did $1.50 a day?
Well, last year you did $3 a day.
It's $3 a day last year.
Oh, no season pass, $1.50 a day.
You had a season pass of $50 last year or $3 a day.
I understand that. Some will buy the $50 pass. No season pass, just $1.50 a day to swim.
Last year was $3 a day.
You're missing the point. Nobody's gonna buy $3 a day when they can buy the whole year for $50, Gary.
To just do a season pass and that's it?
No season pass. Lap swim's $1.50 a day per person, or $2 a day per person. I guarantee they can't go pool swimming for $2 a day, or $1.50 a day.
I don't know why I'm confused.
Yeah.
Okay, if they swim every day, 7 days a week, that's gonna be 28 days a month. How many months is the pool open?
Well, we can say roughly 2.5.
2.5 months? So 56, you're looking at about 80 or 90 days, you're looking at $180 if we charge $2 a day, as opposed to $50 a year.
If you look on the reports from last year, the lap swimmers normally only came about 4 days a week.
Knowing the two that had the season lap swimming passes, they weren't there enough. If you would charge the $1.50 a day, you're gonna make more off the pass than you would the. It was two good friends of mine that had passes, so whenever I see them, I know that maybe 3 days a week, maybe. And then we would have people come in and pay the daily rate as well. And they came more, the people that would come in and just pay the daily rate would be more frequent than the people with the season pass.
I understand if they were coming more than $50, but I don't think they are. I mean, last year I didn't count up how many days they actually came. $33 days, so you would make slightly more. No, it'd be the same, $49.50. If they paid $1.50 a day that they came. From my point of view, it'd be a lot easier to sell them one pass than to sell them a pass every single day if you're gonna make the same amount of money.
I say keep it the same as it was last year.
Would you like to increase the daily rate for a seasonal pool pass to $4 rather than $3 that you had last year?
It's only for a 1 hour
Yes.
period. You're talking $1 every 15 minutes. Correct? Does that seem reasonable?
Well, you're doing $15 for 45 minutes, but you're paying for somebody to instruct your child.
Just leave it at $3.
Water aerobics are on Monday and Wednesday, and they're $5 per session. You pay the instructor $20. This is an area where you do make money. A lot of
So
people come
pretty
to water
popular.
aerobics,
It's
yes.
pretty popular aspect to it.
I would say that's an average price you would pay for an exercise class, normally $5.
Is there any possible way we can extend the days past 2, if that happens? Say it's popular and I know that people would come.
Based on Melody, I don't see,
We'll probably need to talk to Melanie, because she's in Buchanan almost every day with her son and swim team, as far as I know.
3 days a week, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
that's what I would think would be best.
How many sessions does she do a day?
She does one session,
One session a day.
an hour roughly.
Stockert Youth Center has always purchased seasonal pool passes for $40 for the children that are involved in the Stockert Youth Center summer camp. Will you be keeping that the same?
Yes, I think so. Jim, if anybody representative Stockard.
The only thing I look at is we've raised it for board education, everything, we've done everything else, you know what I mean? I think that we probably ought to raise it a little for Stockard Youth Center too. But we did the board education, for it, you know,
You're probably right, buddy.
as long as we stay on the same, I like to treat everybody the same, you know what I mean? And as long as you do that, you're good.
40 to 50? 45?
What percentage did we raise the others, Jerry? 20%? We went from 45. And we went from 175 to,
That they get $48 if we made it 20%. So
that'd be the same, and we could do that, because that's basically what we did with the pool parties too, you know what I mean? Well, but I think that would be fair, 45 even if you wanted to, or 46 somewhere in there, you know what I mean? But
48 would do that.
we need to raise it, because we raised 45, and we raised 175 to 200 if you go past the 40, you know what I mean? That's it. So we need to raise it a little, maybe 45, you know what I mean? What did we raise the board of education?
We took the Board of Education to $175.
And they was 100.
25. So you raised them $50.
I'd say $50.
Yeah, I'd say 50.
The swim teams pay $325 for use of the pool for the season. Splashers does not pay because they're the local team, but you have Haste and Rays, the Harrison County and Randolph County that come in the mornings and pay to use the Olympic size pool. We'd be keeping that rate the same.
For how long do they use it?
Let's see the schedule.
I know the schedule says that 6, 7:30 or so, but they're from 6:45 to 9:45, whenever the splashers start. So
3 hours.
that's roughly $3 if they're in the water. Well, not in the water, but in the facility.
What are we charging? And is that, they come all year long?
They come all summer.
All summer?
All right, so do everybody else. Here's the
325, it's 325.
Now, okay, sorry, never mind. I want to make sure you were separating the two.
We're charging them 325.
And we didn't have Haste last year. They, as a swim team, they elected not to come back. It was a swimming family that was out of Buchanan that's competed with the Harrison area swim team. So they would bring their team down, and now Rays is the only team that would use the facility in the mornings. Unless the Harrison area team decided to come back.
325 is what the rate is right now. 400.
So I was saying. What do you think of that? You ready to-
That's about across the board, 20%, you know what I mean? That's about across the board, you know what I mean? So I would say raise it 400.
400, is what you said. Okay. Final decision I need you to make is when you're going to open the pool. You're only going to be open on the weekends initially, and then open during the week after school lets out, and when you're going to close. Last year you opened on May 23rd, I believe is the date.
And we do have it in school, making appointments early. 3 parties, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
When did they start?
The parties, you know, when I didn't bring the book, let me know yet.
Those will be parties during the
That's-
afternoon, 2 weeks before the pool opens to the public.
No. I mean, when did they start looking at those parties?
They started calling a month ago, and we just made a list. The actual date of the booking,
Yeah,
That's
did
what
they
Jeannie's
start
going to get.
the first day of June or the last day of June?
those are the dates that Jeannie's going to go get.
Well, the 28th is,
Don't make up your mind about it.
May 28th is a Saturday, that's the Memorial Day weekend.
May 25th?
28th
Okay.
is a Saturday, and that's the Memorial Day weekend.
That is normally when you open.
Yeah, and
Last year,
Friday
that was the
the
23rd.
Friday the 24th is actually the day of celebration for Memorial Day.
We officially opened the pool on Memorial Day, right? But it was open to being used by the school.
They requested parties for the 23rd, the 24th, and 25th during the day of May.
Yeah.
Because you allowed them to have their parties before the pool opened to the public last year.
So is May 23rd a holiday this year? Because it's marked by a box. It's marked by a box on the calendar I have, indicating it might be a holiday. Because your Memorial Day is the only one I'm aware of.
It's Veterans Day.
Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Victoria Day, I'm sorry.
It's what?
Victoria Day.
The 23rd is Victoria Day. That's in Canada.
That's why it's marked on the calendar.
But we have our American calendars here, a Canadian date on it.
This book said Memorial Day is the 30th.
Okay, 23rd is the first day they've got booked now, right?
Correct. It's like what you
All
said.
these I told them were tentative though, 'cause you have
I'd
to
say we need to
change.
have it open by the 23rd, or what's the 22nd?
But last year what you did is allow them to have their pool parties the week prior to the actual grand opening. So you could do the grand opening to the public on that 28th, that Saturday. Okay.
That's what I meant. What I mean, Greg needs to have it ready for the school kids.
And then it closes down.
Last year, you did not allow any parties to be scheduled after August 16th. We did speak with the school board. They don't have their schedule yet for 2016, 2017. However, they said they believe it would be the same dates as last year. If you
The
look
school
at,
starts a lot earlier now than it used to.
August 13th last year,
Yeah,
13th or
13th.
13th.
So if that's the case, it would look, if they keep to that schedule, it'll be around the 10th, or excuse me, around the 13th of August this year, would be a Saturday. So maybe,
you normally have your last night on a Sunday,
so the 14th, tentatively set it for the 14th,
or the 7th.
or the 7th.
I'd close it
Early.
I'd have set the 7th, the last day we're open, August the 7th.
If you look at August last year, the week of the 3rd, you had general attendance of 64, 58, 78, and then it dropped down to 10, 10, and 10. So it really drops off at the end of that first week of August.
So August the 7th.
The 7th would be
the last day we would be open.
That'd be a Sunday.
What about weekends in August?
That was one of the, UCare requested some August days, but
Do you want to continue to stay open on the weekends in August? That's something you did in years past, and you actually didn't do it this last year.
If the pool has water in it, then it's going to be, I mean, it depends on how many people we can get there on the weekends. It's something that's gonna have to be pushed.
What you did is you didn't have general swimming on the weekends, but you allowed pool parties.
I say close to August 7th. Whatever you guys want.
How much did we make on pool parties? Do we,
None.
have our schedule?
Jerry figured it up for us, we're losing money.
You had like 3 parties.
We're not gonna make any money on that. I concur, the 7th.
Okay.
All of a sudden.
Well, the 7th would be the last day of the deal.
Okay. That's, one other question. Family Fun Day, that's something that Seth had mentioned. Is that something you want to do a discount? You did it on a Sunday in years past,
You see a major drop in attendance.
Saturday and
Um,
Sunday.
Well, really, even Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of the week, doing something to get families in, giving them an incentive to come.
You had less people Saturday and Sundays?
Mhm.
Yeah, sizably less.
If you look, we have a graph here of attendance. You'll see you were there on the most on Wednesday, then Tuesday, then Thursday, then Monday, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday was the lowest attendance of the week.
Have a special weekend with family, fun day, Saturday and Sunday.
I think that'll help get people an incentive to.
Kick that off. Use that as a kickoff is what you've done in the past.
Well, in the past, it's been every Sunday was
Okay.
a discounted rate.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, Sunday's $4. You'll call it Family Fun Day?
I like the name.
Sounds good to me. The fee schedule and hours of operation will be on your agenda for approval next week.
Sounds good.
We'll probably change our mind on it.
Let's hope not.
Sick. Who's your mom, Dad?
Jimmy Woodley. Van Owens is mine.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Don't hold that against me.
No, she's a great lady.
You're being recorded. She may hold it against you.
You probably sold carpet or furniture then.
Well, she takes care of it anyway.
We'll see what she does after today and she hears your comment.
Thank you, Seth.
Thanks, Seth.
Thank you, guys.
Just get ready for life. This is the best experience you've had probably.
It's been a learning experience.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.